Good day. Today is Saturday, September 27th, 2025. And the message up there is stop backtesting trading strategies now and watch this video. Let's start with the usual disclaimer. There is no investment advice in this video. So we proceed with some information about what we are claiming here. I wrote an article in 2021, April 19th, Issues and Risks of Identifying Trading Strategies Suggested by the Data. I have the links to these articles I reference in this video in the description below. In the article, I state that there are two main ways of identifying trading strategies: unique hypotheses and strategies suggested by the data. You can also have a mixture of the two. Unique hypotheses are usually based on fundamentals. For example, if bond yields rise, then price of gold falls, could be part of such hypothesis, but it may not work, of course. Just making an abstract statement here. However, some hypotheses that are considered unique have essentially been deduced from the analysis of historical data. This is an issue. Therefore, it is hard to determine whether a hypothesis is unique. I wrote this article fooled by randomness, overfitting, and selection bias 13 years ago to warn traders that they are fooled by randomness and overfitting most of the time. And I started the article by saying that there are software programs that allow combining technical indicators and entry and exit conditions to design trading strategies that fulfill desired performance criteria and risk-reward objective. How do I know? I design and develop these products, and I know the issues. Due to data mining bias, it is difficult to differentiate the random strategies from those that may possess some intelligence in pairing the trades with market returns. Pay attention to the language here. A good strategy pair trades with market returns with some intelligence. This is called an edge. Then suppose you have such a program someone developed and you want to use to develop a strategy for trading the SPY ETF. After several tries and iterations, manual or automatic, you get a nice equity curve in the in sample and the out of sample. And you think you're going to become rich. Unfortunately, this is far from the truth. And actually, this nice equity curve was generated by tossing a fair coin in the in sample and the out sample. Heads pay $1 and tails lose $1. So strategies can be random. And you can show mathematically that if you test many random strategies, about 5% of those will perform well out of sample. Most traders who develop trading strategies are not aware of these statistical facts. And they think when they develop a strategy after many, many iterations, by changing parameters, by adding filters, by adding markets, that they have something if it performs well out of sample. There are many different issues here, and let's discuss some of them. Counterintuitive facts about backtesting. To many people, this is counterintuitive because they were taught that if they try hard, they will succeed. The opposite is true with backtesting. If you try hard, you fail. Let's try to understand what this means. If you believe this is counterintuitive, you could try to think about it differently. If the frequency of backtesting made the difference in discovering an edge, then all those traders who struggle with machine learning algorithms would instead be rich. So what is the process that turns frequent backtesting into an exercise in futility? It's data mining bias. And let's try to quantify, rather describe data mining bias and its components better, because most quants and even academics, they refer to data mining bias without explicitly making references of how it arises and its different components. And I have done this in my book, Full by Technical Analysis. But before doing that, this is what happens. You have an idea and you backtest it, and the probability that it's a good idea is A. And then after some time, the next day, you test another idea. Due to data mining bias and data snooping and selection bias, we will talk about these. The probability that a nice equity curve reflects an intelligent strategy is reduced by some function. And this continues until, after a large number of trials, the probability tends asymptotically to zero. This means that if you keep backtesting daily, strategy after strategy, idea after idea, data mining bias accumulates. And essentially, when you think you have a good result, the probability of it being random is very high. I summarize this in my book, Full by Technical Analysis. It's an online book. I didn't publish it with a publisher because I have published 3 books before that, and I had significant issues with the publishers. Basically, they pay nothing. They sell the books at a large discount to wholesalers, and the author gets like 1 cent per book, and the wholesaler may sell it for like $100. In fact, my first 2 books were bestsellers in trading in Amazon for quite some time, and the publisher was selling them to Singapore for like $1, and the Singapore bookstore was selling them for $100, but I was getting 1 cent commission. You have strategy generation process down here. It may be your brain or automatic. And then you go through backtesting and optimization with in-sample data, and you find something good. If you accept it, then selection kicks in. And this introduces a bias if there are many alternatives. Then if you accept it and you backtest out of sample and it looks good, and then you accept it because of out of sample performance, you have selection again. And if you do this many times, this introduces a very huge bias into the process. Now, if you do not accept and go back to your original strategy generation process, that introduces data snooping. Why? Because you already saw what happened out of sample, and you have inside your brain or inside the mechanical strategy generation platform a good idea of what to do to avoid failure out of sample. And then you continue this, you have selection, data snooping, optimization, curve fitting, and these are the 3 main components of what constitutes data mining bias. Unfortunately, contrary to what some authors claim, academics and practitioners, data mining bias cannot be quantified. At some point, whatever you get is random, completely random, because selection bias and data snooping has increased to levels beyond what is appropriate for developing a good trading strategy. This is very important to understand. Of course, there are always lucky people that they may find something, but here we're talking about the process and not luck. Discretionary traders can get lucky and make millions, but we're not gonna take these outliers and decide what to do based on them. So this is basically the idea. If you backtest constantly, as there are some people on financial social media, X and elsewhere, every day they brag about a new backtest and how good it looks. This is basically noise, random, because they have so much selection bias and data snooping accumulated, and possibly the optimization and curve fitting is so large that the strategy they are showing has a very high probability of failing in the future and will fail. And we saw that in 2022, 2023, when some people backtested strategies for the NASDAQ, and then they started using them, and then the strategies, very large losses in the following year. Some strategies, some random strategies fail immediately because they are so badly optimized. Some may continue working for maybe a year because the regime under which they were optimized is still in place, but then they will fail with a bang. Stop backtesting now if you are into this mode, and try to think of a good idea, of a unique idea that has good economic value that you can test, backtest, and if it doesn't work, just forget about it. Try to think of another idea. Don't try to change it. Maybe some minor changes, but don't try to make significant changes to that strategy, because you are introducing data mining bias and the probability of failure is high. Now, as far as working with software that develops strategies suggested by the data, this is a very, very demanding process, only for people who know what they are doing. And the conditions for this process to work are very complex. And I'm not going to go into these details right now because it will probably take a very, very long video to discuss how you can avoid these pitfalls with machine learning and in general with trading systems suggested by the data. My personal opinion is avoid anything suggested by the data. The strategy must make sense based on economic value, based on how markets operate, microstructure. If you are into that, it's very important, especially for intraday traders. And market regimes are very important for position and longer term traders. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Only if you do that, it will provide some motivation for continuing creating more videos. I have a free introductory trading book on the website. You can subscribe and get this book, Profitability and Systematic Trading, published by Willie in 2008 for free. This is how to contact me, and these are links to social media and other websites where I publish content. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, please contact me. Have a nice day.